Hello, everyone. And as promised, I do deliver. If I say I'm going to do something, I definitely do it. And I definitely follow through on my promises. Once again, we are here for the enlightenment. This is going to be a powerful movement created, drafted, organized by the one and only, the most talented, soul, the most gifted, but all in retrospect to what I do, the passion that I have, and my faith. I'm going to play an introduction video and song just to get us started. All right, so while we wait for that video to load, today's topic is always at the fore. I'm going to entitle this today, Me Too. Now, while we wait, the topic of discussion today will be focused on desperate for attention. Desperate for my attention. And while we listen to the lyrics of Public Enemy song, Fight the Power, when you take things and think about them in retrospect, who's your real enemy? I live, I work, I was raised in a community in which I take my enlightenment and I give it to education, furthering my education, becoming educated, and working in my community. So in retrospect, I am an ally and an ally of my community. Look at an aloe leaf as a branch. It helps you, it makes you grow, it nourishes you, and that's what I do. I am a nurturer, an educator, and I take care of my community by caring for the most important, most precious, most impressionable people on this planet, and that is the children. In the word of the Lord, it says, in order to inherit the kingdom, you must behave like little children. So when you think of things, who is the enemy? This is not a black or a white thing, because somebody black could very well be the enemy. It's not about the color of your skin, but it's about finding out who the real enemies are. And knowing that these enemies do things to create strife in the community. They interrupt the education of us all. They interrupt the normalcy of our everyday life. In the community, there is nothing but dysfunction from start to finish. So you need to realize who the real enemies are. Don't look at it as just being black and white or predominantly white or predominantly black, because there could be a mixture of things. And in that mixture, you just have to pinpoint the who's who by name, by what they do, by where they work, and where they live. And that's it. So in retrospect, it's about the total enemy. The enemy. So that's a little bit about Fight the Power, just to give you a snippet of that song, Fight the Powers That Be. And while we're on that discussion, we wouldn't have to fight anyone if people wouldn't wake up with their jealousies, if they wouldn't wake up feeling intimidated by someone who's here to be what? United we stand. If you are truly an ally and not an enemy, then you would see this as united we stand. United we stand in solidarity to doing what's right in our community. In solidarity, on the flip side of that, is being united, a united front to cause problems in the community. So you have to balance the scales and find out what's their purpose and what's their purpose. But collectively, They are promoting united we stand. Are you united for the betterment of the community and the people we serve? Or are you united for a whole nother purpose, which doesn't help anybody? It doesn't have anything to do with the bottom line. So when you heard a snippet of that song by Public Enemy, Fight the Powers That Be, it simply means to fight those that abuse power, those that are using their powers to not help their community. They are using their power for wickedness. They are using their power to abuse it. You have to know the difference. So, this is the day that the Lord has made. And in it, there is a universe. Whether you believe in God or not, you will believe that there is a universe and we live on this universe, and that universe is called planet Earth. So, for those of you that don't have faith, I'll keep it bipartisan by just saying this is the day that the Lord has made. Okay? The Lord has made, and or the universe has created. First topic of discussion. Here we are again. Here we go again. Here we go yet again. It seems to never stop. There seems to be no end to this madness. They're desperate for attention. Unfortunately, you have a plethora of people who are basically regurgitating the same issues, the same conflicts, the same kind of people. I can name several people who are motivational speakers and have created a YouTube channel and have members subscribing that are discussing. Some of it is almost precisely exactly the same. The topics, the way they can relate to you. It sounds the same because that tells you that there are people who are just like the people here in Newark, in New Jersey, in Essex County, who do the same things in other states, in other places. And the biggest takeaway is they doing it simply for attention. They are desperate to get whomever the attention of the person that they feel they are threatened by. Threatened in a sense of intelligence. What else could be the bigger reason for doing all this? It initially starts with being desperate for attention. They want your undivided attention. They want the attention. And when they don't get it by what they say to you, they will get it by what they attempt to do to you. And then it becomes more and more desperate. It escalates to other levels. If it has to go into your house, they go into your home when you're not there, because they want the attention of other people and they want them to communicate that these are the things that they're doing to you. If they have to vandalize your vehicle, entering your vehicle, destroying your vehicle, they want your attention, and they're desperate for you to respond in a volatile way so that they can step back and say, look at this person. So they can act like they are what? Belligerent. Desperate for attention. They will go to great lengths. They will have your colleagues try to interface with you, your colleagues to make direct or indirect statements. This is all in desperation. The ultimate goal is to try to ruin you because they are afraid of your intelligence and what that intelligence can do for you. Where can that intelligence take you? Can it take you to a higher position? Can it take you out of your community? All the above is yes. Can it put more money in your pocket? Can you have a better financial quality of life? All the aboves are yes, 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 and yes. When they're desperate, they are willing to do things to you. They will blackmail you. They will frame you. They will Photoshop you. They will tap into your phone. They will tap into your messages. And all that you do, the daily work of what you do, has nothing to do with their bottom line. It doesn't coincide with anything that is relevant to the enemy. The enemy is not relevant. The enemy has no relevance in your personal business or your life. But by doing so, they know that they're going to get a what? A response from you. It is desperate. It is desperate. It is a desperate way to infiltrate everything that you deem personal and private, your personal and professional business handlings, your personal and professional avocation for your children for school. They are interjecting themselves in every area, in every aspect of your life for the sake of getting your intention. They want it to be volatile because ultimately they're trying to ruin your goals and your aspirations because they are threatened by the level of intelligence that you bestow upon others. The level of intelligence that you have that is going to give you a better quality of life. Somewhere, somehow, somebody or lots of people feel threatened by your ability to be where they are or above it. These are people that are what? Insecure about who they are and what they are. And in their mind only, they see you as a threat, someone that may rise above and is going to take my position, somebody that's going to rise above and make a positive change in the environment. People who are complacent to doing things as they see fit. They see you as a light and enlightenment. They see you with fresh, innovative ideas. People are complacent. They don't want to change. They don't want to learn anything new. They don't want to do things differently. They want to continue to do things as they always have been done. Unfortunately, sometimes we can keep things business as usual, but because the world is forever changing, we have to be prepared for change. We have to be open-minded to change, and we have to be together. It has to be a togetherness to want it, to know that it's necessary. And so with that being said, people, first thing that happens is jealousy sets in. You don't have to initiate anything. You don't have to be a hellraiser. You can be the person who's sitting in the audience in the back row. They will pinpoint you if you're sitting in the back, if you're not even speaking at meetings. They can sense that you are, I'm just going to use this word, a threat to be reckoned with. You can be the quietest one at meetings. You can be the quietest one at professional developments, just taking in the information and then taking it back and using strategies and making it work. You don't have to be someone in the front row. You don't have to be someone that asks and answer questions. They know that you are intelligent. They want you to say something because therefore your comments and your answers or your questions is going to spark questions that other people may have. But those things don't occur because you treat people in such a deplorable way. You treat people as if they're beneath you. You treat people as if they're nothing. So therefore, when you want someone to speak and when you want someone to give their input, you won't get it. Even if you know that they have all the tools readily available, they know what to ask. The questions are out of this world because you are the light. But when you try to dim the light because of your personal jealousies, your own insecurities, your own thinking that someone is going to rise above you, when this person probably has the ability to rise right next to you, because this is about being united and not divided. When you don't see someone on your team or in your workplace as their purpose of being there is to be united with you, have the same mission and the same drive, and whether it's the administrators or the co-workers, whether they're new or old, when they come in and they create strife, it goes against the mission. It goes against everything that we're all here. It goes totally against that. And then you'll find that predominantly all of your time is going to be spent on causing problems for someone that is here to do diligent work, that is here to exceed above all expectations, someone who is humble. Ideas could be fresher, Ideas could be flourishing because you are who you are and I am who I am. And together, you can be unique individuals that all bring a wonderful piece to the puzzle that's called togetherness. When people are desperate and they are afraid of your enlightenment, they will not see you as an asset. Because they have low self-esteem, they will look at you as a threat and not as an addition to their organization. And the reason why their forethought is idle threat is because they themselves did not earn their way in the titles that they're in. They're dealing with some internal demons that they have on the inside of them, and knowing that you is going to rise above the situation. They don't want to see you get ahead because they are afraid of you rising above, coming in with innovation, fresh insight, new ways of doing things, willing to take risks to try something new, willing to strategize, willing to build. These people are in the business of tearing down anybody who comes in with ideas. And if they need you to do something, they have a mindset of not using you to make you better, but using you so they can abuse you. I'm going to say that again. When you are asked to do something, when you are asked to take on a task, it can be supporting your colleagues. It can be running an entire platform, showing them how to do something. In their minds, by asking you to do it, they already have it set in their minds. We're going to use this person to do this job, and then we're going to get rid of them. So in their mind, they are already thinking of ways to use you, not to advance you, but to use you for what you know how to do. They know you have the skills. They know you have the ability. They know you have the know-how. They know that you're organized, but in their mind is to use you and abuse you and not use you to advance you. So that is called being desperate for attention. And once they're finished abusing you and using you up, then they want to throw you out to the wolves so that you can be devoured, so that they can use some type of falsehood. They're going to create conflict between you and other colleagues so that can give them a reason to write you up or whatever the case may be. When they are initiating that volatile situation, they are initiating those conflicts in the workplace. They are initiating the idea of not having morale or teamwork. It is initiated on their behalf because they've already used you. They got what they needed, and now they're ready to throw you away. Throw you away into the what? Into the trash, because they feel like they've already conquered your treasure. They already conquered your enlightenment. All right, they are thirsty. My next topic is, we all know it's a community word, being thirsty. It doesn't mean needing something to drink. Being thirsty and need to be fed. Just like I said, you can be the person in the back of the room, on the left or the right, there to be taught, there to be told some information that's going to make you even a better professional. However, when people know that you are the enlightenment, you have information that can be readily available, they don't want to advance you, but they want to use you. They are thirsty and they need to be fed in the way of not food for your tummy, fed with intelligence. And there's nothing wrong with seeing someone who is inquisitive and very intelligent and saying, I need you to do this task. These things should be documented as what? Being flexible. These things should be documented when you are considering someone for a higher position. You are the top person for the job, because I know that based on your skills and your abilities and looking at your resume and looking at your portfolio, you can handle this job. You can handle this assignment. I know that you can do it because, one, you are very consistent. You have tenacity. You have skills. You know how to communicate. You know how to have dialogue. You give peer support. You have a good relationship with your colleagues. So those are the type of things that you advance. But when people need to be fed, they do it in an abusive way. When they need to be fed and they feel like you owe somebody something, they need to be fed with your knowledge. They want to be fed with your knowledge because they're hungry. They're hungry to learn from you. And that's all well and good, but how do you go about that? How do you go about filling your needs when you're hungry and you need to be fed? You need to be fed and stimulated intellectually. How do you go about the need to be fed? Do you do it in a way such as this so that you can create a volatile situation? Because people are going to be fed by this lie. They need to be fed. They're desperate for my attention. And so when they get it, it satisfies their hunger for knowledge. It satisfies them because they're looking for you to say something. They're looking for you to do something. In order to get you to act, they have to act up. In order to get you to act, they have to act up. They want you to be on the front line. They just don't know how to go about it. And the way that things have been going is going wrong. It has been going completely wrong for so many years. They want to be fed. If you're cooking in the kitchen and somebody is violating your privacy because they want to be fed, they want to learn from you. But the appropriate way is to not give people total access to you. We were not created to be violated. We were not created to be violated in the form of surveillance. We were not meant to be created in the form of thinking that when I step outside of my house, that is a natural way to see me. When I step inside of my house and I close the door, it is over for that. But if you want to be fed, the best way to be fed is to ask questions. You have to ask for the things that you need and the things you want. You don't have to violate people's privacy. You don't have to abuse your power to get people to do something because you're trying to take something from someone. You're trying to steal something. You're trying to steal their privacy. You're trying to gain access to someone who's very private. But I am the type of person that if you need something from me, it's simply as just asking. No one is going to ask you to head up a meeting because the people who are insecure, they figure up this is going to be advantageous for you. My goal is not for this to be advantageous for you. My goal is to steal something from you. My goal is to take away your privacy so that I can learn the way that you cook. Because I can smell the food outside. Instead of me asking you, well, who's cooking? Are you cooking? What are you cooking? And then we can have a conversation about what I'm cooking. And then if I know you or I trust you, I might say, well, come on in. This is what I was cooking. This is the ingredients that I use. But see, that's too like right. That's too normal to do. That's too like right. So when people lose all respect for you, especially in the workplace, when they want to abuse their power and they want to use you up and take everything you have, their whole purpose is to say, all right, I got what I needed. There was never an intention for me to advance you. I just want to take from you. I just want to steal from you because they're too afraid to ask for the things they need, because then it becomes advantageous for you to gain momentum, for you to be selected for a higher title. And they think that you're going to be above them. You're going to get ahead of them. And so in order for that to stop that from taking place, they create strife. They create violence in the community. And they violate your privacy to tell everyone your business so that that can get you what? Incarcerated, killed, fired. This is the angle. So when you see this mass and it says united we stand, some people are united for betterment and some people are united for violence. And that is what it is. All right. They're thirsty and they want to be fed. But you have to know when you need to be fed, it is not for you to go into a store and just take what you want. It is not for you to go in someone's house and go through their shelves or in their refrigerator. If you want to be fed and you want to learn something, the appropriate way to do things is not to take away somebody's privacy. To do that, to gain knowledge and gain information that you could have just simply asked. Just whatever it is you need or you want, you just have to ask for it. And it's only going to be one or two things. It's going to be either yes or no. But see, the goal is not to ask you, because if I ask you for something, then it's going to be advantageous for you. If I can hear you singing outside and I know, wow, who's singing? You have a wonderful voice. They're going to take away that desire to think that in their minds, oh my gosh, she might become a celebrity. So they're going to remove that from you by violating your privacy and saying something deplorable about you so that that opportunity is minimized. So their whole goal is to try to stay on top of what you're doing because they feel threatened about you getting ahead. This is about people being threatened by their lack of skill, their lack of ability, and it creates internal turmoil for them when it shouldn't. When it shouldn't create any type of feeling, any type of regard. It shouldn't have rattle your feathers at all. It shouldn't. Next thing I want to talk about. I want everybody at this tea party. I'm calling it a tea party because if you ever been to one, you know everybody who you like is there. So I feel like in discussing what I'm discussing today, this volatile behavior, this HIB situation that I'm always dealing with people on the outside, I feel like everyone who's important should be involved. But ultimately, the people that you're going to go after, that's going to be sought after, are the biggest fish. Because after all, the other people are nothing but puppets. They're just puppets. And they're being led by a puppet master who's not a master of anything but strife. They're not a master of anything because they need to be fed today. So this is doing nothing but nourishing somebody's mind because this is what they want. This is what they want, but they want to steal it. They want to take it away. They want to watch you cook meals and create a cookbook. They want to see what seasonings you use. Nobody can walk up to you and say, hey, I heard you really can cook. Why don't you start posting your dinners on the cooks who cook? Or, have you ever considered doing a cookbook? They don't want to do things in that sense. They want to violate your privacy because they've already taken away from you. They stole something from you. And they continue to steal from you. And the thing that they're stealing from you on a daily basis is your privacy. Giving people access to you. Because the whole point is to ruin you. Because it is already known that they already stole something from you. It's not about something tangible. They stole something that did not belong to them. And so in order to keep that momentum going, then now let's violate. Let's violate your privacy. Let's go through your files. Let's be in your computer. Let's tap into your cell phone. Let's listen to your conversations. While you're driving, we're listening to your conversation. This has been going on for quite some time. For a very long time. And I have a very long paper trail. Here and on paper, just about everywhere. This is idiocracy. And at the end of the day, it makes no sense whatsoever. But people are thirsty and they are desperate and they want to be fed and they don't know how to do things appropriately to ask for it and then consider that this should definitely be advantageous for you. All right? They're united for two different purposes. United for failure and united for alignment. You have a separation of people out here right now in the community that are aligned for the wrong reason and some are aligned for the right reason. All right, next. People, you don't belong here. Because I'm sure that you would not want anybody violating you. You wouldn't want no lies to be told on you. You would not want your character to be deformized. You wouldn't want somebody to slander your name. You wouldn't want anybody physically in your house that don't belong here or invisibly, if we really want to go on a deep in a mental illness. You wouldn't want anybody stepping foot into your home that you're not aware of. You're not going to just befriend people and say, hey, come on over. You're not going to do that. Because that's giving people access to you that don't need access to you. Just because you have a relationship with people outside of work don't mean that the people from work should be in your house. Just because you get along at the workplace don't mean that you foster those relationships outside of work unless you choose to. That's not being phony. That's not being fake. But relationships from work don't have to be carried into your personal life. It doesn't. And sometimes it's best to keep your professional life and your personal life very separate. Because it all depends on who you deal with. Because some people in the workplace, we're dealing with people and you're dealing with the public. So some people do not need access to you in your personal life because sometimes they don't have the right agenda. Sometimes people have hidden agenda. They just want to get a closer look at you. They just want to be able to get closer to you, find out more about your business just to exploit it. And they could be no better than you. And they could be similar situations. You can have a colleague that might be going through something personal, you know? And so to the people who are trying to destroy you, if you have a colleague that needs to move because somebody else bought your building, somebody else bought your property, then in turn, the people that you work for who have hidden agendas then want to place this person's dilemma onto you. You live in a peaceful home. You have no problems at home. But then what they'll do is they'll create whatever this person is going through. They want to create that into your life. They want it to spill over to you because you could be their neighbor or you could just be their colleague. So whatever someone is going through at work, they're always trying to put those situations together and spill it over to you. If you have a problem with your place, that has nothing to do with me personally. But because this is all personal, then everything that has something to do with someone else, they want to spill it over into your life. Nobody has time for that. Nobody has time for that. But this is what takes place regularly. Regularly. All right. And this is happening right here in the state of New Jersey, initiating in Newark, Essex County, right here. New Jersey, Newark, New Jersey, in the county of Essex. They should be, as a whole, collectively, all of the public service workers who chose to get involved, whether you said something, drove your vehicle on the sidewalk, tried to run someone over, anything that you've done physically to bring about harm to me or my children or people, my loved ones, you know who you are. You know who you are, and you know what actions you've committed. So, to continue here today, I'm going to tell you, ever heard of a term that the pen goes both ways? Well, guess what? The government, it can go both ways. The pen, it writes both ways. The sources that you're using, they can be used in both ways. The weapons you use, they can be used in both ways. The people can be swayed both ways. All right? The job, it can go both ways. The gestures, that can go both ways. The tactics can go both ways. The biggest takeaway is this pen, it writes. It writes the same way that you use it. It can write back the same way. So don't ever think that you are matter of fact, because I am not the one. I am big on the Me Too Act. I am big on HIB. I am big on violating privacies and violating civil rights. These things I am big on. I am big on people doing things to children, exploitation of women, violating women, inappropriate contact. I'm very, very big on people that do anything that speaks against justice. And we know that this judicial system is full of corruption. And not in totality, but you know the people who get their hands dirty. And so those people are in direct alignment with the people who do nothing but kill, steal, and destroy. They are connected together. All you have to do is put the puzzles to the pieces together, and you know exactly who you are, and everyone else does as well. In addition to that, the biggest takeaway is this is extremely sad. It's extremely sad, and it is just deplorable. It is the most disturbing that I have ever experienced in my entire life. There is no seriousness about what is taking place, what have been taking place since 2014. I used to be a caseworker for Essex County Division of Welfare. At the end of my separation of employment, these tactics began from the separation of that employment up until now. This has very well started at that point of separation. But it turned into something that's only for their entertainment. They're violating for the sake of their entertainment. But what's not entertaining is that people's lives are really being harmed. They've done a lot of physical harm. They've done a lot of harm on paper. They've done a lot of character harm. They've done a lot of integral harm. So this is not just purely entertainment. This is things that have already taken place that are considered to be either apprehension, they need to be arrested, you're going to be taken to court. If you make it to court, but you'll be handled in the same fashion that you're causing the problem. If you've taken this to the street, it's because you have no win, because nobody's going to take you serious. You have no serious reason. You have no really embedding evidence. You have no evidence of nothing. You can't come to court and say, listen, I'm jealous of her. She's too smart. I'm threatened by her potential to be something great in this educational system. I don't want her to go to school and get a master's degree or PhD because then she's going to be over me. So people are not going to come to any judicial system bringing their prejudices. Now, don't look at prejudice as being a white or black thing. People are prejudiced because they are insecure. They feel threatened by you. You cannot go to court with these mundane reasons. And so because people are angry that they weren't able to destroy you with whatever they done, they're angry because it didn't work. It's not going to work. It was never designed in your purposeful living or mine to ever come to fruition, because that's not in God's plan. It isn't in his plan for me to be destroyed. It isn't in his plan for me to be killed or murdered. It's not in his plans for my child, my son or daughter, for anything to happen to them. That is not in his plans. And ultimately, regardless of whether you believe in God's plans, the universe, or people, they will never be able to touch you. And if they do, they will no longer exist. It is what it is. It is not in the plan. It is not in the scope of the matrix for you to win at your own insecurities. But you were born for that very unique purpose. You were born to be a jealous creature. God didn't make you that way. He knew you before you were in your mother's womb. He knew what you were going to grow up to be as an adult. And this is why they're so good at being volatile. They're fantastic at violating privacy. They are fantastic at using your skills, your thoughts, and then trying to eloquently repeat everything that you do. They are being fed, and I am making them full right now. This is what it's for. It is hunger. It is desperate hunger for my attention. They don't want my attention in a positive way. They want it in a volatile way. I've never seen so many men act a complete fool of themselves. You rarely see any females. Rarely. It is always some male doing something horrendous. And that's why I'm putting out there the Me Too Act, because it is 99% male. Males. This is only being done for violence. It's for violence because people feel threatened about all the good work that you've done. If I leave this earth today or tomorrow, what is on paper about me speaks volumes. There is nothing that they have on paper or anywhere else that's going to speak against my character, my integrity, my skills, my ability, and what I deserve in life. But all that the devil has stolen will be repaid to me. It will all be restored 100%. And if you pay close attention, the Creator and the universe is paying people back for the seeds that they have sown. I don't care if somehow they manage to get more money for their program, but you may not get more children. You may not get all your buildings occupied. There's something that's going to continue to be downsized in your business because that is your karma. That is your karma for putting out bad karma into the world. And so when you put out bad karma, it's going to come back to you. And this is just the way that things come back to you. It is energy. Whatever energy you put out, it will be poured back into you. When you put out good, it will be poured back into you. And if it doesn't reach you and is delayed, then guess who's delaying it? The same people that want to kill, steal, or destroy you. Because if people had their way with things, nobody would hinder you from anything. Nobody would stop you from getting something you deserve. If anything is delayed, hindered, or you don't receive it, or you never receive it, it's because there are people who are out here intercepting your blessings. They are creating interception in the things that you are entitled to. Things that were already blessed and has your name on it. Somebody could send you a check, a stimulus check, to the post office. They received it, but somebody intercepted that mail, ripped it up, and threw it away. And then one day they look at their own paycheck, and guess what happened? Maybe miraculously, your bad karma is going to come back to you. Now you have a reduction of hours. So somehow or another, whatever it is that you steal from someone, your bad karma that you put out is going to come back to you in the same form. So if you do things like take somebody's check that comes in the mail and you throw it away, or you open it, or you delay it so that this person money is delayed and now they have to trace it and figure out what happened to it and now wait for a whole nother check to be issued. Where you inflict harm, harm will be inflicted to you in the same area. It will come, your karma will come back to you in the same area that you have hurt someone, financially, educationally, spiritually, physically, psychologically. Wherever you institute harm, your karma will come back in the same form to you because that is your wake-up call. That is karma saying, I'm at your front door because you've done this to her. And so you're going to be injured and hurt in the same way. A lot of what I see is very spontaneous behavior. And spontaneously, your bad karma is going to come back to you. The same way you put it out, you're going to receive it back the same way. That's how karma works. So to conclude my video for today, I'm going to ask one big question. I keep hearing government. Well, just saying government doesn't help me at all. It's not going to hurt you to tell me what you are talking about. I'm going to need the name if you have it. It is not to implicate you, because if I go through things and I inherit problems, inherited problems are problems that you don't create. You go to work, you come home to rest. It is just that simple. I will never implicate anybody into something that I'm involuntarily involved in. I have inherited something bad because somebody placed it in my life. It is an inheritance of something that you do not own. It is inheritance of something that you didn't create. It is an inheritance, and I'm going to return it back to the sender right now. For those of you that know how to pray in tongues, pray for this situation to be returned to the sender. Whatever it is, visibly, invisibly, in the spirit, in the realm of the atmosphere, in the form of people, return to sender. Return it back to where it come from, because it serves no one any purpose. Return to the sender. Put it back right where it came from. That's what needs to happen immediately. That is called desperation. There is way too many levels to their insecurity and jealousy. This is way beyond extreme. These are extreme measures being used. Return to the sender. If you're going to call out something broad and say government, it is not going to hurt you to tell me who you're talking about. I will never, ever implicate you. It is not your fight. It is not my fight. It is not my battle. It is not your battle. It's inherited problems. They're created, they're formulated, they're photoshopped, they're recorded, their voice encrypted. It is desperation. Desperation, and they are willing to do just about anything to conquer and destroy. Anything. When I say anything, I mean anything. Anything to push this thing over the edge. To bring about violence. They are looking for death. To die. To die. And so let's call upon the death of this thing that needs to go back to the sender. We need these situations to be dead. We need these situations to be over. We need these beings, spirits, people, actions to die. Return to the sender your words and your actions and whatever else, spirits, demons, witchcraft, return to the senders. If you're going to say something, you have to do more than just utter something broad like government. You will not be involved. You will not be implicated. I don't involve anyone in something I didn't inherit, I didn't create. I love my family so much that I don't even discuss these things with them personally. The only way they will know is through this platform. But again, just like you, they're cognizant. They are aware that something is going on. Whether or not they believe it or not, whether or not people are involved just to keep themselves safe. You know, sometimes people will go against you because they feel they're scared. You know, not just your family, but just people in general. Sometimes people are afraid. So they will kind of join forces and conform because they fear somebody hurting them or harming them. But in retrospect to that, I don't even speak to my family about things of this nature because that's giving life to dead situations. This situation is not alive. It is dead. This is not a situation that should be taken seriously. If it was to be taken seriously, why am I sitting here talking to you today? Why am I living my best life? And what I mean by that is, I'm working in the same field that I started in 1996. I can go from one employer and get hired by another one. I can go from one salary and get a better salary. So if there was any seriousness in what's being taken place, don't you think something would have happened by now? And I don't mean in a volatile way. You don't have to die for people to bring about justice. You don't have to be murdered. You don't have to get into vehicle accidents. You don't have to violate somebody's privacy. You don't have to do breaking and enterings. You don't have to go into their house and look at their food. You don't have to violate their privacy, give everybody on the planet access to you 24/7 a day. You don't have to do those things if you have a valid point. But because people are taking somebody serious about something that has no point, it's nothing, it's a dead situation. They just bring it to life by keep feeding it every day. You sow life into situations when you keep feeding into it. This is why it's done every day. because it's a dead end situation. You are not going to any police department, any judicial system, or telling anybody something that's extremely false that you made up. As to your reason to want to kill, to steal, and destroy. So people, if you are out there and you really, really want to help me, all you got to do is give me a name. After you utter that name, I don't know who that name came from. I don't know where it came from, but I'm going to do what I got to do. I don't implicate people in something I don't want to be involved in. I want nothing to do with this situation. But unfortunately, the situation is here, and it has done nothing but gotten worse every single day. This is 24/7. 24/7. The drama people is outside. The violence people is outside. The situation is outside. Everything is out there, right outside the door. It's all outside. And if you want to say it's coming from above, I will be careful about that, because everything up there, baby, is not good. If everything up there was good, then there would be no reason for the Antichrist. If everything in the spiritual realm was all good, baby, there will be no reason for an Antichrist. There will be no reason why in the Bible there was an apocalypse. So please don't think everything up is good, because there's something that we know about being up. What do we know about being up? It says everything that's up is going to do what? Come down. So don't think everything above us is good. It ain't all good. Everything right here we had on earth on this level is not good. So don't think everything that you can think of that's in the heavenly realm is all good. Because God knew that some things were out of order, and he fixed it, and he got rid of what was wrong in the heavenly realm. And so this is spiritual warfare. These are people that are blasphemers. They're pretending to be something that they're not. They're pretending to be almighty. They're pretending to be powerful, but you give them that. You help them to achieve this kind of power. And when you help them, they become powerful because you are helping them. They are powerless. We have the power. But if you help people, gain access to people, then they become powerful. Because you helped them, you gave them a key. You gave them access. You helped them to make them assume that they're powerful, and they are powerless. I am sitting right here in front of you. I am right here. I am still doing the very thing that I love to do. I am still in the same field. I'm still here. And I know that you can't wait. And I don't know what some of you can't wait for, but the wait is over. I'm here to tell you that the wait is over. I want to thank you for being the instrumental reason behind every defamating, damaging occurrences all over the place. Everywhere. There is someone, and I believe that when the people are where I am, that they're coming from right here. They're following every single where. These people are not from where I'm going to. These people are right from here. They are following on the trail. So just believe. All you have to do is drop some names. I will handle this like a Harriet Tubman would handle it. I'm going to handle this like Rosa Parks. I'm going to handle it the same way other black ancestors had to handle their handle. I'm going to handle my handle. And if you want to ride with me, then you can ride with me. But you know what to do. You ain't got to put yourself out there. You know what to do. When you're a real G, you know how to handle things like a G do. But I got to come up here and drop this jewel for you, because if otherwise, they're going to continue to do what they do. Because they're hungry, they're desperate, and they're thirsty for my attention. So believe me, if you've always been an enemy of mine, even if you're a stranger, don't ever think that I'm going to turn the other cheek and speak to you, because I won't. I stay under the radar. And the only reason why I got this light right now, because I'm the enlightenment. I'm the one. I'm the one that's from the back row, that's quiet, that don't really say too much. Work and keep her head down. Work and come home. I'm the one that does that. I'm the one that minds her business. I'm the one that don't really stop too long to be anywhere for too long. I'm in and out. And because I operate in that fashion, people want to get a closer look at you because you're not interacting with people. And there's a reason for that. Look where it got us today. Look what's happening today. So you don't have to interact with everybody because interaction ain't good. It's not good. Look what's happening today. This is my first video, and the next one is going to be better than the first. This is just the introduction for 2022. And the good thing is that you're all aware. Everybody's aware. You know what you know, or you think you know what you know. But even with what you know the truth behind that. Again, drop the names, and I'll do the rest. Until next time, stay up.